All right. Okay, talk. Now you have nothing to say. No.
I don't really like you as much when you do that.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Have you ever seen someone who looked perfect on the outside, but somehow didn't really spark any interest in you? Then, on the other hand, you may have seen someone who didn't really look as perfect as the other person, but somehow caught your attention. Maybe when you turned around, they also smiled and you really felt like a breeze because you didn't see some ugly veneers onto them. Or maybe you as a woman hate your curvy body, but if you think about the Greeks, they actually sculpted every single feminine goddess with the same body type as yours. So maybe you're not really that ugly looking as you think you are. Hi friends, welcome back on a brand new episode, and today we will be discussing about our Braden Clavicular guy and how perfectionism actually really ruined his life. Braden got a nose job.
What?
You heard that correctly. I personally think that Braden didn't really need any other job, moreover a nose job, because a nose job is completely different to maybe something else that could be lip fillers. Fillers are made out of hyaluronic acid, which is a molecule that our body already produces in a small amount. And the molecule has the only job to keep the skin plump looking and to hold on water. This was not a very easy surgical procedure because that depends on the type of nose that you want to achieve. Then the surgeon may also have to cut some nasal bones or even shave. Getting a nose job is way more invasive and changes your facial symmetry and harmony. This is how Braden looked before getting the nose job, and this is right after he got the nose job. As soon as he got the nose job, he of course wanted to celebrate with his fans, so he went on Twitch and live stream. If there is something that you need to know about this guy, is that he has no social life and he will stream 24/7.
Appreciate it.
Rabbi Pinto just tipped $2. Hello, Braden. Good to see you are transitioning into a Jew more and more every day, including the no love from Tel Aviv.
I hate this this is the worst job ever.
Bro looks like Family Guy. It's over Clav, you are a joke. Dylan Latham took your legacy. It's over Chud Boy, you're looksmaxxing.
And not even an hour later, he stops the streaming and he's like, you guys are so fucking rude. I should have never told you anything. Now, I don't stand for bullying, but I want to remind you of just a few things that this guy has done. He was recently seen in Miami, one of those Miami clubs, singing Heil Hitler, and that's just the one thing. Then he also went online multiple times hating on people, especially men who didn't want to look smacks like him, who didn't want to look like him because they were just not as insecure as him. And every single time that he would meet new people via Omegle or something around them, he would simply bully them. So I'm not really hating on him, but can I just say that he deserved it? But now, leaving alone Braden and all of his trust issues about his body and his hatred for himself, I want to go back to the beginning and talk about perfection, and most importantly, how perfection and chasing such unrealistic standards actually ruins our lives. Let's not talk about the word perfection for a moment, and I'm going to blow your mind when I say that in the ancient Greeks, in those times, the adjective perfect wasn't really intended as we use it now. Perfect comes from Old Latin perfectus, and it means something that is done, as in an object that you are done working on. And then the word actually changed because the church decided that it was a time to change it by saying that we could also use the word perfect to describe someone, God. Because God, of course, couldn't be seen as an object that we were done working on. And this is how we actually got to know the word perfect, as in someone who can be seen without flaws. But by nature, human beings were never meant to be perfect, because our so-called imperfections are actually what makes us remarkable and unforgettable. I really want you to now go back into the 900s and just to think about the it girl of the moment of the art, music, and cinema, Marilyn Monroe. She was ethereal. She was basically a goddess. And now I want to play a game with you. It's going to be a very easy and silly game. I want you to now think about Marilyn Monroe. Simply swap her body with the Kim Kardashians. And now I want you to look at these two people and tell me which one of these two looks more authentic. Exactly. When we look at someone who looks too perfect, even on the outside, we don't really feel any sort of emotional connection to them. We don't really feel them being real, being authentic, being themselves. And before you say that I'm body shaming Kim, you better shut the hell up, because I am definitely not. I'm just simply trying to make you understand the concept. But if you want me to go for another example, sure, let's go make another one, so you can even see it better with your eyes. I think that there is even a drawing on TikTok going around at the moment that basically tells you how perfect your face looks like based on today's standards. Put Marilyn's face into those beauty standards, and now I want you to look at Marilyn's new face. Does she look as interesting as she was before? Absolutely not. She's not recognizable anymore because she doesn't have any specific and unique features about her. And now she looks like everybody else. As we were saying at the very beginning, when someone looks too perfect, even just physically speaking, it doesn't really spark any sort of interest in you. They may have a high sex appeal, but as humans, we don't look for sex appeal. We look for emotional, strong, and nurturing connections. Ever since we were young, we were taught that there are only two ways in which you can do things: the good or the bad. There has never been something in between. It's always been a sort of black and white situation. As I was growing up with my mother, I remember one night when I was helping out taking out the trash, and as I was getting ready, she hopped into the bathroom and she put makeup on. And I remember being so confused and asking her why she would do that. And I remember her saying, "You never know who you meet outside, and therefore you can't be seen in such conditions." From that time, of course, I started really thinking that going without makeup or simply wearing, comfortable baggy clothes wasn't just the right choice. And in 2016, I became heavily obsessed with the makeup, to the point that I even had opened up an IG page where I was sharing my tips and opinions as a self-taught person. I was 15 and I would go to bed with makeup on, and of course waking up with tons of pimples and scratches on my face. So my mom has basically raised me with that typical 2000 mentality in which you always had to look your best and make people think that you had money, that you were really wealthy. I feel like a lot of people, especially girls, have grown up with that kind of mentality because we live in such fucked up world where if you don't look as the beauty standards, you are basically left alone. If we take a look at Braden's career, he didn't blow up because he was already looking perfect or looksmaxxed. I remember him living rent-free on my TikTok For You page for about nearly 3 months, and I would see him at the right beginning of his journey. And now that he says that he looks perfect, that he looks like a god now more than ever, he's losing millions of followers every single day. The more that you fit into this mold, the more forgettable and boring you are. If we look at the actors, there are tons of actors who look the same, who have the same veneers, who have the same smile and the same Botox on their forehead. But if we take a look at Zendaya, for example, she is so praised for simply keeping her teeth the way that she always had them. So in this video, we've talked about how perfection actually ruins our lives. Instead of chasing such unrealistic standards, you should chase yourself. And let me explain now what I mean. You should look up to your tiny flaws and you should embrace them. If you have, for example, a tiny mole on one of your cheekbones, don't cover it with makeup. I want to see it and I want to say stuff like, oh my god, she looks amazing. This person finally doesn't look like anyone else. I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna remember your face if you look exactly the way you do now. But if you get a nose job to look like Kylie Jenner, or if you simply want to change your smile because someone told you that you look terrible with those teeth, maybe you should actually ask them how happy they are with themselves, because they are projecting onto you. Every single person out there telling you that you are so ugly, you should do this, you should do that to look better, they are actually projecting onto you. And that has nothing to do with you as a person, hoping that one day you will feel the same as they do. Again, by human nature, we were never meant to look the same. How can you pretend to grow and learn if you never try and make tons of mistakes? I didn't learn how to vlog and make tons of psychology videos by simply never trying and expecting to be perfect at the first shot. I have been a YouTuber for nearly 2 years and I still don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong. And the truth is, there is no way to know. The only way that you can know something is if you try. But if you never try, how can you know? So next time that you look at yourself and you wish you didn't have a Roman-shaped nose, or simply wish you didn't have all of those rolls on your tummy, think about the fact that those tiny flaws are the tiny things that are making you unforgettable. Until the next time, stay safe.